Very, very interesting. Again, very, very interesting. What is so interesting today? We went for a marriage of one of our colleagues somewhere in Lira. I will spare you the details because my interest here is to tell you how funny it played out. When we went to marry this young woman, a very good friend of mine, a man called Paul, they said, my colleague, and in fact, my alumni, can you join me on a day when we are to go to introduce ourselves to the father of my very own in-law, to the father of the woman that I feel I should settle down with? I said, well and good, that is fine. I have no objection. We have to do, because I remember some time back when I was preparing to marry my own wife, I had to speak to some friends of mine who looked at it as if it was very expensive to join me and travel there. But as I was still explaining, one of my lecturers had me explaining to a friend that, please, can you join me? And he said, oh, Charles, it is you. I said, yes. So you have decided to marry? I said, yes. I want to go and introduce myself somewhere in the east, in a small district called Kamuli, among those people who speak what we call Lusoga. So if you are around the world and you want to know where Busoga is, when you come to the Pearl of Africa, what? The Pearl of Africa. There is a small district there called Kamuli. That is where I went to lay my manifesto. I got some woman there, very nice woman. I said, my friend, I really want you for a wife. And I love you so, so much. Never mind, you are a Musoga and a Maniteson. Can you join me? Now, I'm telling you what happened in Paul's place. When we reached there, the old man took his time to come out of his room to come and meet us. We were wondering what is happening. Has he dismissed us? Is he not interested in seeing the visitors who are walking in? And have the visitors not demonstrated strength enough to come and see him as a father, so as to tell him that we actually love your daughter with all our hearts? So when we entered that house, there was a moment of a silence. We didn't know what exactly that meant. People were moving around corridors and young boys were asking themselves, where is Daddy? Has he just hidden himself or what? So finally, when he came out, he said, now, yes, what has brought you to my home? We said, the reason why we are here is for ABCD. You have a daughter, a very beautiful daughter called Sharon. That daughter caught the attention of our son, and that's why we're here. As if he did not know, but he knew exactly why we had gone there. To spare you the long story, the things to do with gomases, the kanzus, the goats and sheep were negotiated, and cows were demanded in numbers of 10 because the lady was highly learned. They also demanded for around 25 million. We managed to raise about 16 million. Out of the 12 cows that were demanded, we managed to raise at least 8. And we said, well and good, as we settle down, we shall work hard and probably bring another more 2 to make 10. But we don't have the strength to make 12. Mzai was listening. The clan members were very, very unhappy because for them, they came knowing that at least over 20 million would come. In fact, their demand was about 30 million. But Mosey settled for 16 million. And so we saw these miserable old men. They were trying to giggle at Mosey and as if to tell him that what you have accepted is small. As if they themselves, they raised this gun. The duty of raising this gun was to the father. and is the one who raised this person according to this lady. But he's surprised that his very own clan brothers, the brothers of the father, they are the ones who are demanding that the older man should raise a hefty amounts of money to pin on this gentleman. Ah, what surprised us most that after we had raised the 16 million, we had raised the 8 cows, we had raised the councils, we had raised all these courts and so on and so forth. The chairs that hang around the Muse's chair for which he used to hang, he sleeps on and he hangs and he shakes himself like he's some small kid around. But it's a beautiful chair, you know. Muse, having received these envelopes from us, gave us the biggest shock. Out of the 16 million that he had been given, he picked 10 million in an envelope and gave it to this young man and said, young man, this is 5 million for you. Take five. Five, my daughter. Out of the 10 cows that had been brought, he picked one cow that was a female cow and he gave back to this couple and said, this one here, go and start with it. Whatever it will bear, as it bears, that it gives birth, it becomes yours because it is a capital that I've given back to you to go and start. There were goats about, I don't know, about 6 goats. He picked 2 goats, one a female and one a male, and he gave to the daughter and said, daughter, go and start from here. Hey, yeah. Are you hearing my listener? This was a marriage somewhere in Lango. You know, the Langi are people who can stretch you in a marriage sometimes, and they can be hard sometimes, but they are nice people, and they are beautiful daughters. So the whole, we started seeing eyes moving up and down, and people's faces were becoming gloomy so as to look like this. Lines were running across people's faces, and they were asking what is wrong with the men that are seated in the house. These grown-up men, why are they behaving like this? And someone tipped me and said, you know what? Muse has given back out of the 16 million, he picked 10 million, gave 5 million to the son-in-law, and gave 5 million to the daughter-in-law, and he has given back one biggest female cow that was among the 8 that were brought, and has given back 2 goats to these people, and these people are not happy. And he said, my son-in-law, I've given you my daughter to simply go and keep her. She's yours, she's your wife. What I'm interested in is the relationship, the healthy relationship between you and her. There is no excuse to say that now you have started your family from scratch. Now you have started you are living from nowhere, and then you start borrowing money in order to start a living. Have I not given you startup? Yes, daddy, I have received it. My daughter, have I not given you 5 million? Yes, I have received it, daddy. And she knelt down and said, daddy, thank you. Have I not given you a heifer, one of the healthiest heifer that your husband brought here? Yes, daddy, you have given it back to us. Is it not capital for you? Will you now say, will you come back to me again begging for milk? No. I raised you, took you to school. I did not come here as your father to sell you. Of course, I know my relatives are not happy with me. The old man was extremely very open, and he said they are not happy. For reasons being, I have returned back. Some of the things that were expected were taken back. Now you can tell me, if someone brought you 10 and is giving you back, you brought 10 and is giving you back 1 for free, and you brought 16 million and he has given you back 10 million, what would that be? There is a tendency among clan people to feel like they were the ones to decide. But maybe I will ask you a question: that was it their responsibility? If it was not their responsibility, why were they so concerned about this matter? Why is it that they were not participating at the time the girl was being raised? But it's now at the time of marriage, they become very interested. Why? So we are saying it is very unfair for them to behave like this. And the funny bit of it is that they wanted money. And everybody was saying, Muse, you have done something very bad. Why have you given back all these things? What about us now? We said, no, I have 1 million here that I've spared for you. And he decided out of those, out of the 6 million, he billed 2 million and he gave them. He said, yes, but you have also given this young man almost our daughter freely. Eh? You were supposed to raise all this money, but you have given back a lot. And he said, no, don't mind. I wanted her to go and start well, because starting well is always very difficult. When I was marrying my wife here, I gave almost everything and I remained with nothing. And when we started life, it was difficult. We started with borrowing. I didn't want my son in law to start from scratch. Neither did I want my daughter to go and be called like she was just sold. Ah, my friend, this seemed to scatter people's jaws, those who wanted money from the clan. Oh, this seemed to cause a lot of confusion among those who expected much money to be given to them. They had received the courts, they had received the councils, but they still wanted money. So, my friends, my clan brothers, for those of you who want to influence people to sell their daughters, it is a shame on you. You should never ever continue with this manner. The older man has the right to choose what is good. As long as he's wishing the best for the daughter, that is exactly what he needed to do. We have a common habit where somebody who is a father-in-law decides to put a hefty amount of money on the daughter because she studied and went to university. And then when they leave to go and join the husband, it becomes a pain to those who married her. And they are demanding beyond what she can afford to do. And they are criticizing her left and right. Why? Because they had to pull and borrow a lot of money to bring her home. I realized that some fathers can act otherwise. And this was one of them. I'm sure you're now surprised. Why would this old man give back all this money to his daughter and give the father, the son-in-law? The man simply knew that he is wishing the best for the daughter. I don't know how many father-in-laws can do such a thing, but it was a shocker. Are you hearing? It is a shocker. There's a lot of domestic violence. There is a lot of domestic violence, especially when these people settle in their home, because life has to be treated with reality. Bills must be settled, you know. Sometimes you may settle in a house that is rented. Sometimes you may settle and find that you already have accrued so many debts and people are calling you left and right. You have bills to pay. Those are some of the things that people experience and they make a marriage very tough. The people who married their daughters very expensively, and when they end up there, they say, we married such a thing. As funny as you are, we paid a lot of money for you. And the words that come knocking you are terrible. So I encourage you, fathers-in-law, let's be fair. We are not selling our children. We are simply wishing them to have a decent stay and a decent start. And that's what every man should want for. I'm not saying go and give back everything, but be decent. Demand what they can afford and take it humbly. And it shall be well. I love you guys. Subscribe, recommend, and let it be well.